what's up guys? Good evening sa inyo. I'm so sorry for being late guys. Nagbayad naman kaming kuryente eh. So what's up guys? Good evening. Let me know guys kung naririnig nyo na ako, kung okay ba yung audio or whatsoever. Yan, good evening guys. Good evening sa inyo. So anyways guys, let's straightforward guys, no? Cancel nyo kung naka-short kayo ngayon. Huwag kayong magsha-short ha. Walang magsha-short position ngayon. Wala muna magsha-short. Again, wala muna magsha-short. Lahat tayo, wala magsha-short. Wala maglo-long muna. Okay, be careful. Wala muna lahat. Pa-cancel muna ako niyan. Kung may mga na-trades kayo ngayon. So, be careful lang. Okay, be careful. Kung naka-long kayo, then you're good to go. Okay, you're good to go. I'm expecting a long position tonight. So, actually, ano nga ako eh. Kasi nag-brown out bigla. Tapos, like, okay. Nagtitingin kasi ako ng Fed News kanina. Naka-online, naka-live sila kanina. And then, bigla nag-brown out ng mga bandang 3. Shit. Okay, so, cancel nyo muna. Okay, kung may naka-limit order kayo for shorting position, cancel that trade. Okay, wala muna nyan. Okay. So, sige. Wait lang ha. Bigyan ko lang kayo ng time. Ayusin ko lang to. I'm having trouble. Okay. Oo nga, nawala tayo. Sorry, I'm so sorry guys. Okay. So, let's don't waste any time guys, no? Iano natin to. So, ito yung possible long position guys. S&P 500. Go check your S&P 500 guys. So, I'm long position on S&P 500 on an hourly time frame. Take a look at the S&P 500. Sa may mga BingX account dyan. Okay, sa may mga BingX account. Okay. Tayo lang makakapag-trade nito. Yung mga hindi nag-register sa BingX, then possible sila may iwan sa trade natin tonight. Okay. Hindi tayo magte-trade muna ng crypto. Mamaya natin titignan yung reaction after ng news. Okay. So, guys, sa mga may BingX account, go check your S&P 500. S&P 500 yung pangalan niya. Ang tawag sa kanya is indies, no? Nasa indies siya, stock market to. Okay? S&P 500 will long position tonight, guys. Here's the news. Okay, here's the news. There you go. Kung pupunta kayo sa Forex Factory nyo, makikita nyo tong news na to. Ayan, there you go. Ay, sorry. So, ayan, makikita nyo to sa Forex Factory news nyo, guys. We're heading to 8:30 news, okay? So, let's wait for that 8:30 news and then yung 9 o'clock news, okay? So, we're expecting a big volatility tonight dito sa movement ng S&P 500. And possible, lahat yan. Ultimo gold, guys. Check out gold, guys. Di ko pa nga actually na-check yung gold. So, let's check gold, guys. So, be prepared, guys. Be prepared. Oh, there you go. Wow. Tingnan nyo naman yung tsura, oh. So, di ko pa na-check to. Tingnan natin sa 4-hourly time frame. May target to for sure. The clean traffic right around here. There you go. So, may target tayo right around here. This is the range 1 setup, range 2 setup, then range 3 setup. So, possible, it's a long position nga, no? So, nakalong ako sa S&P 500 now, pero I'll give you the position later on, okay? May position tayo dito. So, titigan nyo lang ito na maayos sa 1-hourly time frame. Hanap kayo ng setup nyo dito. Pero for me, kung gusto nyo mag-buys kay S&P 500, that will be the greatest position on 3,830. Okay? 3,830. So, yan yung mabibigay ko sa inyo position for S&P 500. That's on the hourly time frame. So, thank you so much guys for watching the live, guys. Welcome to the live. I'm so sorry for being late. 129 na tao dito sa live natin as of now. Thank you so much for watching. Aha. Wait lang, may check lang ako. Saan ba yung tantan? Wala. Ito ba? There you go, that's the S&P 500 guys. Go check your ano, check nyo yung BingX nyo guys. Huwag kayong tumingin dito sa trading view. Iba yun. Lipat natin yung monitor natin. There you go. Okay? Okay, go check your BingX account guys. This is the ano lang naman. Okay, dito lang kayo mag-drawing pero wag kayo magbe-base dito for your positioning kasi delay yan. Okay, delay yan. So, there's probably a setup na nabubuo dito. You can go long position on S&P 500 anytime guys. Okay, anytime. So, mas mabuti hintayin nyo yung mag-retest to ng konti. Okay? Waiting na lang tayo ng opening candle na ito. Bawal kasi mag-drawing dito. So, okay? Parang late na coach, no? Hindi pa late yan. Okay? Hindi pa siya late. Kasi kailangan nyo mag-position dito sa 8:15. Okay? 8:15, kunin nyo yung 15 minutes time frame. Pag may candlestick, low candle, take it. Okay? Take it. Alam nyo kung paano i-play yung setup natin. That's a 3 soldier candlestick. It will continue going up, guys. Believe me, it will continue go up. Okay? Sa sabog crypto, yes, possible sumabog yung crypto dahil dyan sa news na yan. And I don't know how long yung itataas ni Bitcoin dyan. So, kung titignan natin siya sa 30-minute time frame, actually there's a fair value gap right here, oh. Baka balikan ni Bitcoin yung 20,300. So, who knows, diba? So, check natin. Pero, magpo-focus lang muna ako sa stocks. Okay? Kasi masyado na bumaba itong si BTC, eh. O, ayan, oh. Pwede nyo targetin to kay Bitcoin, yung fair value gap natin, the previous fair value gap right around here. You can long position on Bitcoin somewhere around this side. There we go. I might long position on Bitcoin too. Ayan. So, wala pa akong position sa BTC. Wait ko lang to magkaroon ng bottom wick on a hourly time frame or retest kahit pa paano bago mag-open yung 8:30 at saka 9 o'clock. So, yeah, and I'll begin to in position for crypto. So, gold, in the other hand, possible guys, so, yung gold naman, no, possible malong nyo to kung gusto nyo ilong to si gold sa hourly time frame na ito. Yeah, very perfectly play na possible na malong nyo to. Clean traffic to. So, sa mga magte-trade ng gold guys, there you go. There's a clean traffic right around here na pwede natin ma-target kay gold. And who knows guys, so sobra taas na ito. Baka sumabog to ng sobra-sobra, ha? So, abangan natin yan. Yung S&P 500 sa BingX US 500, yes. Okay, US 500 siya. Wala talaga. Wala makita. So, wait lang. Okay. So, let me know kung may mga questions kayo guys. Hinahanap ko lang yung mga comments nyo. So, tignan nyo si S&P 500 and Bitcoin. Gold reaction is bullish. There you go. If it flips, it flips, guys. And S&P 500 lang ako nakalong as of now. So, waiting lang ako kay Bitcoin. Yeah. Cancel nyo lahat, ha. Baka naka-short kayo dyan. GG kayo. I know naman na short siya kanina. Ginatasan nga lang namin siya kanina, eh. Okay. Maayong gabi, Sir Kim. Maayong gabi din sa'yo, Sir Emmanuel. So, good evening sa inyo. Okay. Pwede po ba pwede ba mag-drawing doon? Hindi ko alam. Pwede ba mag-drawing sa BingX? I don't know. Nasaan yun? Ito ba yun? Nakakapag-drawing kayo sa BingX? Ako hindi. Saan yun? Let me know kung ako nakakapag-drawing kayo sa BingX kasi ako hindi eh. Pwede ba? Let me know nga. Nasaan? Hindi ko alam yun ha. Kaya nga hindi ako nag-chart dito eh. Yung blue na arrow sa gilid. So, malapit daw sa oh my god, there you go. What the heck? Nakatago. Okay, I see. Ito pala. Okay, hindi ko alam. Ayan, hindi ako nagdo-drawing dito. So, sige, mag-charting tayo dito. Okay. So, this is the hourly time frame of S&P 500. Okay. So, there's a fair value gap dito eh. Ayan. So, babalikan ni S&P 500 to. Good for long position na to sa S&P 500 for me. There you go. Nasa long position. Right there. Okay. May bago na naman tayo natuklasan, no? Kahapon, ang natuklasan natin is yung mga cloud dito sa ilalim ng trading view. Okay? Yung mga cloud na yan. Ito. Itong mga bilog-bilog na to. Ayan, tama nga, may GBP report ngayon, oh my god. Alam nyo ba, big deal yun. It's a big deal, guys. Big deal na news yan. So, ayan. Okay. We learn something every day. Oo nga eh. Yeah, nakalong na ako dito nung dito pa siya. Okay, eto, dito pa ako naglong kasi there bottom week na to. And dapat nga dito ako nakalong dito kay S&P 500 kaso nung bumalik yung kuryente, nandito yun dito na banda. So, late na ako nakapag-position sa kanya. Pero dapat dito yan, no? Okay? Pero perfectly play. Okay? And, yeah. Waiting na lang tayo kung mag-open pa to ng panibagong candle. Kasi mayroon, oh my god, mag-open na yung news, 8:30 yan. Check natin na maigi. Okay. Check natin. Final GBP 8:30. So it's 8:10, 10 minutes 20 minutes. Okay. 20 minutes away, guys. Kasi yung GBP dati Sir Kim, pwede ilong si Solana, babe? Yes, pwede nyo ilong yan, okay? Basta hintayin lang muna natin yung effect ng price, okay? Kasi baka mamaya, mag-GG kayo dyan. They buy the rumors and sell the news, guys. Laging ganun. Kaya that malayo stop loss nyo. If it flies, it flies. Pero ang target ko lang talaga is tamaan nyo lang yung fair value gap na kinreate niya. Dito sa S&P 500. Okay? Kailangan niya lang balikan to. Pero I believe papasok yan sa loob niyan. May breaker block, there's a breaker block. And pwede din kayo mag-cut dito. Pwede din kayo mag-cut loss dito. Yan. Kasi that's a secret play. Okay, that's a secret play. So, si Bitcoin naman, ayan. Sabihan nyo ako pag nagkaroon to ng bottom week, then you go long position, guys, ha. Kahit huwag nyo na ako sabihan. Basta nakita nyo na may bottom week na to or gumaganito siya. That's probably a long position for Bitcoin, guys. Pak, pak, pak. So, ang gagawin nila ngayon, okay, para silang advance na reporting eh. Parang ganun yung mangyayari mamaya, okay, sa 8:30, okay? Para may advance na reading ang mga Fed, okay? So, mapigmimitingan nila yon para next month, 'di ba? Next month na yung totoong release ng news. So, para masala nila kung ano ba i-report nila sa atin next month, okay? Pag yun is negative result na naman, possible, no? GG, nasa recession na tayo. So, yun yung hinihintay natin dito sa Forex Factory na sana maayos ang ibigay na report. Okay? Ayan o, negative 6.9. Sa S&P 500, sir, pwede bang sumabay ngayon, coach? Yeah, actually, pwede kayo sumabay, di ba? I gave you a position, so wait nyo lang ng kahit konting pullback. Kung okay na sa inyo yung fair week na yon, punta kayo sa lower time frame, dun nyo siya tirahin. Okay? Hindi siya tira. Actually, ito, naiwan na tayo. Diba? Dapat na-entryhan na natin to eh. Kaso late tayo nakapag-live. So, yan mabubuo na yung 2-minute time frame. So, expect kayo na magiging ganito yung presyo niyan. Okay? So, this is a 30-minute, no? And, yeah. Okay. So, expect nyo na magkakaroon tayo ng There's a resistance right here. Okay? So, kapag nag-opening na yung candle right around here, sa side na to, okay? Sa side na to, wait lang tayo ng bumabato ng konti. Hanggang dito, then your stop loss will be the bottom wick. Okay? That will be our plays. Pag bottom wick na ito, pag nag-open siya ng candle right here, pag nag-create ng bottom wick, automatic mag-short kayo. Pag nagpo-pullback na siya, your stop loss will be this low. Okay? This low candle. So, simple as that. Okay? So, ako hindi na ako mag-i-stop loss sa kanya. Iti-trail stop ko na lang siya kasi malayo na ako nakabili sa kanya. So, yan. When sleeping trading po, Sir Kim? Siguro by Friday, I don't know. Tutulugan natin yung trade. Dahil. Watching from Dubai po, you're welcome. You're welcome here sa live natin. Kung from Dubai kayo. Okay. Ewan ko, mainit daw dyan ata. So, wala pa tayong masyadong 259 viewers as of now here sa live. Thank you so much for watching the live, guys. So, let's see if may matitrade tayo. I believe I can trade 3 tonight. Okay. Bitcoin, Solana, S&P 500, and possible gold pa nga, diba? There you go, guys. 39 seconds remaining. So, kung makakapag-position kayo, let me know. Okay? Kung makakahabol kayo dyan sa position natin. So, that's the last position na pwede nyo makuha. Check my charts. There you go, guys. Bitcoin is making that new low. Alam nyo na gagawin nyo. Set your proper buying position right around here. That's my signal. My signal will be 20,114. That's my long position, guys. I'll set my limit na. Okay, pwede na rin kayo mag-set ng limit nyo, guys, for BTC. There you go. A bottom wick created. So, thank you, Chef Mark, sa donation mo ng unicorn. We have a unicorn, guys. May unicorn na naman tayo. Thank you so much, Chef Mark. Mag-limit na kayo, ha? I told you to limit position. There we go. Okay. We can limit position right around here. Okay. Then, our stops will be the bottom stop loss right around 2067. 20,067. Yan pala. And then, let's target the fair value gap upside, guys. If you're in, let me know, guys. If you're in the position, let me know then. Okay? So, para sabay-sabay tayo dyan. Okay? So, S&P 500 is driving upside, guys. No one can stop. S&P 500 prior to the news. Thank you po, Coach. Profitable na po using your playbook pa lang. Thank you. You're welcome. You're always welcome. Okay, you're always welcome. So, use it wisely. Don't overpower. Okay, don't overpower the use of our setup. Tandaan nyo, ha? Ang setup natin, nilalaro yan sa tamang oras. Okay? Nilalaro yan sa tamang oras. So, yeah. Okay. There you go. You're almost in the position, guys. Congratulations. Why in a chat? Kung makakapag-position kayo dyan, ha, let me know. Mag-why in a chat na lang kayo dyan pag naka-position na kayo. So, let's wait for the 9 o'clock and 8:30 and 9 o'clock candle, guys. That's what we're looking for. So, swerte. Actually, swerte yung live natin today. Kasi nakahabol pa ako. And baka possible, naka-short kayo ngayon. Kasi the momentum of candle kanina is creating a top wick. Baka mamaya, ma-blinded kayo. I saw it too. Okay? I saw it too. You're not alone, okay? I saw it too. That's a shorting position. Actually, na-short ko naman siya. May profit dun sa shorting position na nagawa ko dyan kay BTC. Is around, nasa na yun? Nasa na yun? At nag-lock na naman yung account ko. Ayan. Wait lang. Bakit wala dito? Ito, bag. Wait na lang, refresh natin. Bag na naman. Okay. Ayan. Ayun, $23 profit din kay BTC kanina sa shorting ko sa kanya. Kinlose ko na yon. happy na ako doon. Diba? Pero, buti na lang, nag-brown out nun. Kung hindi ko na-close yun. Wala din ako, pre-data lang ako kanina. So, mahirap. Let me know kung may mga questions kayo, guys. I'm happy to answer it. Saan daw SL ni BTC? The bottom week, guys. You can stop loss on the bottom week. Simple as that. Okay, as simple as that. The bottom week, guys. Diba? Alam nyo naman kung paano mag-position eh. There you go. I'm in position on Bitcoin, guys. There you go. Ngayon ko lang din nakita. I'm in position, guys. So, set your proper stop loss and proper take profit, guys. Our take profit on BTC, guys. Bahala kayo kung anong gusto nyo itipi sa kanya. Basta ako somewhere around here. Magko-close na rin ako dyan. Dito sa mga liquidities na to, i-close ko na. Hindi ko kailangan umabot dito. Okay, hindi ko kailangan umabot dito. I'll take advantage of the news lang and that's all. Okay, that's all. Hindi ko kailangan to. Okay, hindi ko kailangan yung buong fair value ka. Pero nasa inyo yun. Kung gusto nyo i-maximum dyan, then there you go. Kayo bahala. Pero I'm just saying, kung gusto nyo makapunta dito sa taas na to, then use trail stop. Okay, use trail stop. Hindi kayo ubra dyan. Hindi kayo gagamit ng trail stop. So, wag naman ganun. Okay? So, ako banda dito lang ako magta-take profits around these areas. Okay? Around these areas na to. So, once na mag-enter na tayo dito sa blocks na to, so I'll probably cut my wins. There we go. I'm in na din. Okay, yan. Naka-in na tayo. Ilan po leverage natin? Naka 100x lang ako kay BTC, guys. Hindi ako mag-125. Okay. And ilo-low margin ko lang din to. Gawa, that's news, guys. They can buy it, they can sell it. Okay? Buying the rumors and selling the news. Delikado yan. So, I'm using low leverage, low margin, pero with high leverage. Okay? Pero kayo bahala kung gusto nyo gumamit ng kahit ano. Basta I'm saying, you have your own risk management. Okay? I teach you how to trade it properly. So, go perform it. Okay? Naka 40 margin ako kay S&P 500 and 20 US dollar naman ako kay BTC. Okay? I'm just taking advantage of the market. That's all. Hindi ko kailangan maging gahaman sa pera porket may news. So, hindi nyo kailangan nun. I'm just saying, profit is profit. Running profit na ako kay GBP USD coach. Congratulations sa'yo, Sir Raymond. Diba? Okay, I believe Bitcoin is flying again. Oh, there you go. 10 minutes away, guys. Or less than 10 minutes away para dito sa ating market. Let's go. Sir Kim, pwede po ba maghanap na at maglagay ng support and resistance sa lower time frame? Of course. Pwede yun. Saan to SL ni BTC? Ang SL niya ni Bitcoin, guys. Eh di syempre, yung bottom week. Ayun o. 20,079. Pwede kayo mag-stop loss dito. Okay? Sir Kim, cross ba gamit mo ay isolated? Never akong gumagamit ng cross, guys. Laging isolated lang ako. Okay? Laging isolated lang ako. See if it flips, it flips. Actually, na-screenshot ko itong sa S&P 500 bago siya maging ganyan. Ito siya. Pinadala ko ito kasi sa mga kaibigan ko na binigyan ko ng signals for long position for S&P 500. There you go. Tingnan yung itsura ng S&P 500 kanina. Diyan ako maglulong. Okay? Ayan o. And look at the S&P 500 right now. There you go. Pack. Applying. So, yeah. There you go, guys. A bullish momentum. Why in the chat, guys? There you go. There you go. Why in the chat, guys? Kung profitable kayo, kung running profit na kayo kay Bitcoin, guys. There you go. Wala pang 8:30, guys. Tama. Wala pang 8:30. Why in the chat, guys? There you go. Profitable na naman. There you go, guys. A running profit from everyone. There you go. Congratulations, guys. So, yeah, it's too early to break even, guys, no? Hindi pa ako mag-break even sa kanya. Don't move your stop loss. Hayaan nyo lang muna. Okay? Let's wait it. Okay, let's wait it. If it drives, it drives. Thank you so much for watching the live, guys. 274 watchers as of now, viewers. Okay, wag muna kayo mag-trail stop. O kaya mag-break even, maaga pa. O, there you go. Di ba? Masyado pa maaga. So, masyado pa maaga para mag-stop, mag-break even. So, wag muna. So, let's take a look at S&P 500. Pag na-stop loss kayo dyan, reposition kayo ulit. Simple as that. Kapag to. Okay? Sabi na ito. Ano daw? Kay gold ako nakaposition. Ano yung tsura ni gold? Oh, there you go. Hit. Ito naman si Goldies, mamaya pa to eh. Ang bagal ng galaw ni movement na ito ni Gold. So, I'm still in. I'm negative $4 dito kay BTC, guys. I'm still in position. $28 profit, oh, there you go. That's all. Okay, that's all for you, guys. So, check natin to. Ito talaga bantayan natin sa S&P 500. Then, si Gold naman, okay. Si Gold naman, I'm looking for long position for Gold. Okay? I'm looking for long position on Gold. Sino gusto mag-long sa Gold? There you go. Ang ganda ng setup ni Gold. For me, that's a long position, guys. That's a clean traffic, oh. Diba? Yeah, that's a clean traffic. So, let's see. Bitcoin is flipping. Ayan, nandyan ang volatile. Okay? Take advantage na yan. So, I'm still not stopped. Okay? I'm still long. I'm negative of $4 running loss as of now kay Bitcoin. So, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting for that big move of Bitcoin. So, they're buying the rumors and selling the news right now. That's why the volatility is hard to predict. Kaya dapat laging advance. Hitang stop sa BTC. So, same exact thing, guys. Same exact thing. Go long position right around here. It's performing the bottom wick na para meron na tayong solid stop loss pa sa kanya. Ako kasi hindi ko pa siya i-close. Hayaan ko lang siya mag-drive. So, ganun talaga plan. Okay, ganun talaga yung plan dito. So, kung na-hit kayo ng stops, okay lang yun. Okay, okay lang yan. Just wait for the bottom wick. And then if it flips, same entry. Okay, same entry position. Pero I'm still in. Okay, I'm still in position, guys. Okay, they're live, guys. They're live. Naka-live na ata sila. Wait lang, ha. Check ko lang, ha. Ayan na ata. Magsasalita na. Parang FOMC lang to, eh. Are they live? Are they live? Are they live? Ito kayo live? Mamaya pa daw 9 o'clock. Pero, kailangan may source tayo. Guys, let me know kung may source na kayo ng live, guys, ha. Kasi may live yan, may live yan. Nahanap ko lang, ha. Nawawala ako. Fed News. Fed News. Oh, the CBC. Anong hinahanap ni Sir Kim? Ang hinahanap po natin yung magsasalita si Powell, guys. Magsasalita ulit si Powell. Siya yung magsasalita. Hindi nyo man kilala si Powell, guys. Kasi may power dito sa... Ito, siya magsasalita na ito. Mamayang 9 o'clock. So, may live naman. Kaso hinahanap ko pa kung nasan yung live na yun. So, wait natin to kung saan to. Okay? Ito kasi yung kailangan natin. Itong tatlo na to. Tsaka ito, actually. Okay? Yan nga yung effect ng price, eh. Dito sa tatlo. So, ito yung hinihintay natin. Ito, wala naman to. Yan nyo lang to. Tsaka ito, wala to. PUR naman yan. So, ito lang yung sa atin today. Yan yung kailangan natin bantayan today. Daddy Powell yan. Si Daddy Powell nyo. It will take effect. Yan na. Pumapasok na yung volatile. Yung volume. Napakadaming volume. Pero kaya natin i-counter yan. Good evening, Coach. Sorry I'm late. Okay lang yan. Late din naman ako. Brownout nga eh. Aha. Ayun. Selling short report by Grizzly Research accused by manipulating its sales data. Ano daw? Hindi kaya ma-short si BTC, Coach. Ganito yan ha. May correlation kasi yung move ni S&P 500 kay Bitcoin, okay? May correlation yan. So pag na-long yan, na-long din yung gold, possible madama yan. Okay? So ngayon, hintayin nyo kasi 8:30, there you go. That's an 8:30 news, guys. Ito na pala yung 8:30. So, hinahanap ko yung live. Nasaan yung live? Yung live yung kailangan ko mahanap. Kung makikita nyo yung live, guys, let me know. Send the link. Hinahanap ko yung live. Wala yung live. Meron dito yung live mamaya pang 9 o'clock. Pero ang tanong, nasan yun? Nasan yun pang 8:30? Kailangan natin yung news ng 8:30. So, possible, positive report. So, ibig sabihin, possible na sumabog to. Ito ata, Coach, nasaan? Di ba link? Oh! There you go, sumabog na si gold. Okay, so sunod-sunod na yan, guys. Okay, sunod-sunod na yan. Kita nyo na yung effect. Ano kaya dito? Sunod. Go. Okay. Eto na. So, Bitcoin is dipping down. So, S&P 500 is okay lang. Okay lang sa S&P 500. Oh, they push the price. Tingnan si Bitcoin. Tingnan si Bitcoin, guys. Check Bitcoin.
Applications out. just a few minutes ago. Diana Holick joins us now with the latest on the housing front. Hi, Diana.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, mortgage rates actually dipped slightly last week, prompting a small increase in refinance activity, but nothing from buyers. So mortgage demand was basically flat for the week. The average on the 30-year fixed fell to 5.84% from 5.98%. That's for loans with 20% down. But don't get too excited. It's already moving back up again this week, almost at 6% again. But last week, the drop managed to juice refinance demand a little bit, 2% from the week before, still down 80% from the same week 1 year ago. After 2 years of record low rates, there are just very few borrowers who can now benefit from the refi.
I'm like, okay,
mortgage demand to buy a home was basically flat for the week, but 24% lower year over year. That's a combination of higher rates, still high home prices, and growing economic uncertainty. The ARM share, the adjustable rate share, is still high, just over 10%.
On a downgrade, down like 10% or even more than that as well. So there's a lot to go get through this morning. Yesterday's sell-off in the afternoon was impressive, to say the least. Just a weakness on the overall market there. Not much of a bid going into this GDP number. We'll see if it can catch back up. It might be just like yesterday, where the only longs that work out are the small cap ones. That's the only thing I'm long right now, and I can't see much else that I like. Oil, maybe. We'll see.
I like that Yill and Die there. Bloodbath and Beyond. That's a good one there.
That's a great one.
But yeah, we're already 3 short, man. We're already short AMD, NEO, and Upstart. So I'm already in 3 positions, as you can see there.
Shorting position.
And there goes Upstart. I mean, Upstart right now also cranking lower, man. We're short at 32.12 here, and it's printing 31.70. So already 50 cents in the money on this trade. Probably, I mean, I was thinking about getting some out, but I don't know. I mean, some of these names just continue to get cranked yesterday. Like we had Amazon, and there's so many names not even on my list. I mean, today we have NEO, AMD, Upstart, Coin. They're all on here. I didn't even have CCL or any of these other names. There's so many things going on yesterday. I mean,
okay, Sir Kim, ba't mo ayun ang pinapanood mo? Okay, sila yung may unang-unang current event na news. Okay, sila yung merong access sa news na pinakabagong-bago. Niluluto pa lang, meron sila. So I'm waiting for that.
$8 worth of short there. So let's see. Maybe holding on to some of these shorts are going to be a good thing. Okay. AMD also went below.
Bago mag-ring yung bell, alam mo nila yan.
And then so the minute it did, I punched short already. We should. So we're about 25 cents off here on AMD. Well, we're out by 7 cents, but we should be short 80 instead of 75. I just wanted to take a little tester position here. So 3 shorts. Obviously, if you guys know the way I trade, they're not going to be big positions here in the pre-market, but you get the idea where I think this market's going. It was queued up to have a monster rally the last, like it just should have rallied 7, 8, 9% here this market, and it's not doing that. So with that being said, let's just hold on to some of these shorts. We're short NEO, Upstart, AMD, all in the money and all cranking lower right now. So hey, GDP be damned. It doesn't even matter anymore. We'll see what Fed Chair Powell has to say. I don't know. It's going to be 75 basis points pretty much guaranteed in July, so that's going to be coming through, and then we'll see what July, and then we'll see what happens in September. Probably another 50 points. But hey, earnings are starting to crank up again. We saw Nike shoot the bed yesterday, so that that wasn't great there. Although I can't believe we lost on that short. That's unbelievable. Earnings season is the next pin to drop. I think we've already seen peak inflation and peak hawkishness on the Fed, meaning I don't know if it's going to get much worse from that side of things, but now we have to deal with earnings, and I don't even think we've had it guide down or anything like that. Let's just wait to see what comes through. We have Micron coming later this week. That should give us a good indication. As now there goes AMD breaking right now through 70. I just wish we would have averaged. We tried to average it in there in the 90s, didn't get anything. As now everything is starting to go lower, 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 man. I mean, we might just be good here even before this market starts, and it's already. We still have an hour to go here before the imbalances, before the market opens. A quick check on the imbalances, obviously. NEO on that short report, we're in the money on that one, 30 cents right now as well. So that's a big short. Oxy's a buy. Oil's really strong. I still think oil touches 130 at some point, so we'll see that about that. That's down here at 113 today. Oil was just at 114. A little bit of a pullback there, but as you can see, a pretty mixed board. So let's see where we go, man. This could be a rebound day a little bit. Yesterday, Nasdaq got reeling down 3%. That was pretty crazy. I wish I was here for most of that, but I know Tony the Tiger took over the afternoon show, so I hope that was really fun times, guys. Let us know in the chat if you enjoyed Neil and Tony yesterday. I know everyone always enjoys it when he's on. So, and then I guess we'll have Arun coming up soon with the futures as well.
Yeah, another downtick there this morning on the futures, guys, on this note. I was just reading through this report. Let's jump right into things here. This number kind of interesting as well. If you take out autos, motor vehicle sales, still 1.5 versus 1.4 on the previous one. So that number typically kind of offsets an otherwise negative report. But, I mean, we were talking a little bit yesterday, guys, about the whole idea of maybe negative news is now positive news. If the market's getting to a point where, enough is enough. Overall, I mean, we're just now negative on the S&P, 0.04. So it's not like it's a huge, monstrous move here. But we did get that move, if you missed it, to the upside this morning after data showed Germany came out and said their inflation fell for the first time since mid-2020.
I mean, it's been like half a year that people have been talking about the possibility of recession. So the GDP numbers, they matter, but they don't matter as much as, anything we might hear from Powell that would change.
Gold, guys.
That could be a big deal.
Check out
and
gold.
anything inflation related is going to be a much bigger deal necessarily than this GDP number. But you can see, like, essentially we just gave back everything that got gained on that German report. But part of the reason why you're probably not having a gigantic flush, I'm just demonstrating what happened yesterday. Like, in advance of this GDP number, where you had lots of people saying, hey, we're already in a recession, probably not going to have a good print, we had a huge tank. You had a failed breakout at the open, which trapped some longs, I'll tell you, and that made it probably a little bit uglier than it ended up than it otherwise would have been. And all you really done is just come right back to where we were at yesterday's close. So overall, that's why you're going to see us as being flat, but we have given up some gains here. I just think, we have to listen to Powell, obviously. There's enough individual names in here that you can definitely find relative strength and weakness, which I think is going to be the bigger thing here for today. It's worth keeping in mind on the SPY. We are sort of on that previous, like this 3,800 has been a pretty solid level. Like, we haven't broken too far away from it, at least so far. Yesterday we managed to hold that. This morning it ticked below, but it hasn't broken below that. But that was a pretty big support level that got a lot of support and a big run up last time we were here. So if we give this one up, there's a lot of room to the downside in the ES if you have a quick look at that daily chart, and that's what's at stake today. It should be a pretty big day here today, but even whether we're up or down, like, there's a few things I like. Oxy was strong yesterday. I like that one. Disney was relatively strong. If it holds support, I can get into some Disney. The small caps have been fantastic for the longs today. AGRX was great. Endo looks like it's going to be good so far today. This CanF in front of $1, I'll make some plays there. But when it comes to NEO, your CCLs, maybe not Tesla. Going to have a quick look-see at that at some point. Upstart. There's just a host of names that are extremely weak, and I didn't even say Bed Bath & Beyond, that we can lean into. And speaking of Bed Bath & Beyond, always watch out for something with a 30% short interest. I think neither one of us are short that one right now. At the open, you can see some shenanigans happen when it's a high short, regardless of how bad their earnings were.
There you go.
Like, we just took a piece out of NIO here for 25 cents. We'll hold a little bit more, but yeah, look, I was just saying.
Kasi nga daw, ang bad news is good news na rin. Okay? Ang bad news is parang good sa market, ayun yung effect. Kumbaga, kung bad news, sumasabog ang presyo. Pag good news naman, binabagsak nila yung presyo, parang ganon. So let's wait for that. Hintayin natin talaga si Powell.
Appetites of just consumers, right? They're buying different things, and how much do you deal with inventories that you pre-ordered that suddenly are coming in that nobody wants?
John, I've never seen this before. At NATO, with Maria Tadeo and Anne-Marie Horder, and there is a meeting of the President of the United States and the leadership of non-NATO members, Japan and South Korea, Secretary Blinken and Austin in attendance as well. And John, this is just, all the rules are getting broken. This is on China. And while NATO is a group of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is going to adapt.
One to watch for the rest of today. Futures down a tenth of 1%. You will be hearing from Chairman Powell, President Lagarde, Governor Bailey in around about 19 minutes time.
19 minutes, guys. I'll send you the link kung gusto nyo. Okay, here's the link. So 19 minutes na lang, guys. Magsasalita na yon. So let's wait for that.
Weak. I mean, horrible environment right now. You doubled up there. So I just wonder if, like, sometimes some of these reports come out and they're realistic and they actually are short seller reports. Sometimes it's people just looking to dump these stocks back in where they can get a better price. Some people understand that, hey, look, we just got to 24.25. That's been a top even when times were okay back here in January, like where we started this.
Okay, kung na-SL it kayo dito kay BTC, guys, magre-reposition tayo ulit. So that's our loss. So let's count that as a loss today, okay? So let's count that as a loss today. Let's not cheat.
That would be a realistic level for that.
Babawiin natin yan.
You come out and you get other high flyers like Upstart today, coming out on the NASDAQ. And again, this same type of thing where you were down to 26 bucks and you made it back to 40. Hell, you made it back to $55 there off of some of those bottoms before getting hit again. And now they come out with a sort of a price target cut here on Upstart. So I think Morgan, a little bit late to this party, but hey, still a nice move to the downside here. Let's see if Upstart can hold some of that. They slapped an $11 price target over here on a PhST. This was a name that everyone loved at one point, man. Upstart was like the darling of these new kind of fintechs and new businesses. Look at this, $400, guys. You would say, must have 10-to-1 split. I wish. I don't own this stock, but yeah, $400 Upstart was in October, guys. No splits, nothing. We have a 32 offer right now on this stock. So, I mean, just to think about some of the destruction that's happened, I know there are some traders that are trying to pick up some of these names on these lows, and that's what's called the bull trap. So we'll see what happens here. If people want to pick up more Upstart today, down 10. And the other thing, too, is what you were saying there about Bed Bath & Beyond. And then, again, I got to give credit to one of our viewers, Bloodbath & Beyond. I thought that was great. I don't know why. Like something that me and you should have thought of that before as well.
I'm not that sure
this
when it comes to those good ones.
No, normally I am, so I should have came up with that. But that's a great one. You know, pretty consistently here, 35% or so, 32, 33, 35% here on the short for Upstart, as you can see. So that to me is the reason why we have to be very, very cautious, you know, of taking early positions and early shorts and into a bigger position right now. These names could get blown out back up to the upside for sure. People come in, they're like, oh, I'm short this name. Yeah, okay, so boom, I come in and I'm in the money 10%. So 33% of these shares are held short. When people see this kind of profit, maybe they do take it, right? So that's why I targeted up here $35. There's no way the shorts scream this thing up that high on a downgrade. It shouldn't go back to positive, I don't think. So we're going to be very careful with where we average in on some of these trades.
14 minutes away, guys.
5 minutes before this market even opens and before we get real volume in. So, you know, please be careful. We've already taken some profit on NEO. We just got more short here on AMD at $80. So this is another name that's cranking below. We're going to get to all these names, so I don't want to sort of ruin everything. But if you get an opportunity right now, we do have quite a few people watching early on here today. Yeah, 3,500. Hit the like button, man. We only have 382 likes. If you can hit the like button, that would be absolutely fantastic. Get that watch list, watchlist.tradertv live. Hit us all up on Instagram, on Twitter, everything. And I missed the meeting yesterday, but now these guys are going to be focusing on TikTok more. So here we go. Follow us also on TikTok. Brendan will be doing some dances over there.
Nope. But maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about it. How about that? A number of significant analyst moves today.
That's the news, guys.
One of those, Upstart, one of those. Here's another one. JP Morgan on Meta, cutting their price target on Meta to 225 from 275. Bit of a cautious note from JPM on Meta today. Also, Shopify, if you haven't looked, as I kick things off with, yeah, it's 34.80 or so in the pre-market here, 34.88 on the split. 10 for 1 gets finally put into place today. I mean, we saw all kinds of opportunity when Amazon had their split come through. Is there a trade here similar to that in Shopify?
I don't think it'll be anything like Amazon. Amazon was doing, like, right at this point on Amazon split, we were involved in trades. I think we're probably already sitting in some longs and taking breaks and scalping, and there was tons of volume. There's just none of that happening in Shopify. But I want to point out there, you mentioned Meta. Meta's one of the stronger stocks this morning. It's up 1%. It's actually at its current highs right now, despite despite that the downgrade there, the price target cut, I suppose, being down to 225, but it's looking actually pretty strong.
There you go.
Shopify, it's just a case of not a lot of volume. There's some significant levels out there once you factor in the 10 to 1. 300 was huge, so 30 is probably big. I like 37.50.
Let's wait for the opening no 9 o'clock, guys.
Previously.
Okay, kung mga nakalong pa kayo dyan, good.
Maybe something happens and we get a big volume spike and we can dig into like this 35 level
let's see,
at the open. But not when there's so much to look at today. Like, you're not going to come in and combine like 8 positions out of, or however many it is, maybe it's 6 or 7, combined between myself and Sean at 847. So Shopify, it feels like a nothing burger, but look, if it gets to $30, if it gets to $37.50, those are the prices.
11 minutes away, guys.
And I just want to short, I want to short everything, but Shopify would be just another one of those names. It's like so juicy that it came in and it's at $35. I was like, oh my god, $35, this thing's going to get spanked. Okay, so remember what the purpose of the split is, right? It's to bring more liquidity into the name. And so if there's traders out there that were thinking about shorting Shopify, about a year ago it was at $2,000 and now it's at $32, right? So you got to think about what that does to the options market and things like that. So if Shopify continues to get beat down here, it wouldn't surprise me, because now it's a lot cheaper to say, hey, look, I believe this stock's going to 30. Well, it's only $2 there, a difference, right? Before there would have been that, let's just say 10 to 1, so $2, so it would have been $20 of a difference, because it would have been at $320 as opposed to just 32. I don't need to tell this basic math to you guys, but that's what it does. It just creates more exciting opportunities for options and just gives it that easier retail access, because although people say,
conversation coming up.
Jackson Hole is going to have a tough act to follow here, John. You've highlighted it this week, a 3-day panel, I believe it was. Lagarde sizzling, Loretta Mester sizzling, and on we go to this panel.
They got some work to do, Tom. Just how much? And how much pain will they inflict on this economy as they try and bring inflation back down?
The times we live in, and particularly with a war in Ukraine, is evidenced by President Biden meeting with the leadership of Japan and South Korea as we speak in Madrid at NATO. Kriti Gupta here with a chart this morning. Kriti, what do you have?
Yeah, Tom, ahead of that central bank panel, which John just mentioned, the key question is how much work do they have to do? How hawkish, for example, does the Federal Reserve have to go? Which brings me to my chart of the day, perhaps a gauge to figure out just how hawkish they can go. So look at that 2-year TIPS yield. Something that Chairman Powell brought up in the last press conference was simply looking at real rates. They're negative for most of the yield curve, unless you look at the front end of the curve. And this is significant because as we asked, once again, how much more hawkish can you go? Check this out. This is a part of the market that is still in negative territory. And since 1990, the Fed has never ended a tightening cycle while real rates were in negative territory. So simply the fact that this is still so far low suggests that there is quite a bit of work to do.
Kriti Gupta, thank you so much as well. We are honored that Kit Jukes could join us now, Chief Foreign Exchange Strategist at Societe Generale, with truly decades of experience on central banking. Kit Jukes, simply, what will you listen for on this panel?
I'm expecting to hear a lot of resolute comments about making sure they get the job done. A lot of talk about inflation expectations needing to get under control, and that effectively that fighting inflation and winning this battle is the single most important thing facing central banks with everything else that's going on. So I'm expecting to come out of this more convinced rather than less convinced that they're going to end up over-tightening because they have no choice to do anything else, anything other than that. That's what I'm waiting for.
Things are very fluid right now, including a resurrection of divine confidence from a 2005 paper of Olivier Blanchard. But the new kid on the block, maybe it's front-loading, but maybe more Kit Jukes, it's Christine Lagarde dealing with the polarities of Europe. You live this with your 5 or 6 residences in the Iberian Peninsula. Tell us how you treat the fragmentation that she does not want to speak about at this panel.
Oh, I think she's trying. I mean, they're trying to come up with a plan that they can sell credibly.
New York name. Yes. All right. So on our name, we're not going to have any splits here because the price is going to show all the way down here, down 90%. Obviously, that's not real. But even if we zoom in here over the last couple of days, you don't really get a bump up in Shopify heading into the split. So every stock is a little bit different. We know that Shopify is a completely different beast than Google and Amazon, right? I mean, this thing was, like I just said, this is down 78 78% or so year to date from its highs. So Shopify continues to get crushed. I didn't expect it to get bumped up very much either. So we'll see what happens today. But Shopify on the split, man, $35.
So here's our plan, guys. Check your gold. Okay, check your gold. We can probably long position on gold. So let's wait for this candle. Okay, again. So let's wait for the opening candle above this one. Okay, let's wait lang tayo ng opening candle dito and perform niya yung bottom wick perfectly right around here. And then we can probably long position here. Okay, so let's target the 1835. And yeah, the rest is history. Possible kunin natin to lahat. Ito. Possible matamaan natin tong liquidities na to. Pero dito lang tayo, 1835. We can take profit on 1835. That's a clean traffic na waiting tayo. So we need an opening above here. So yeah, that's our trading plan. Possible, yeah, let's put $500 in it. Okay, kaya tayo po $500 may get. Tapos kay S&P 500, check natin mamaya.
Happy belated birthday.
Malapit na,
I didn't
guys.
realize it was Elon Musk's
So
birthday,
6 minutes
but
away, guys. 6
10
minutes away.
million for MicroStrategy when they own $10 million worth, when they got like 3 billion or whatever it's worth now of Bitcoin. That's kind of a drop in the bucket for them, which tells you that they are the unofficial Bitcoin ETF. Just a couple of things in there, and I do have 2 longs. This is not necessarily a bet that the market is going up. This is just small caps being good, and CanF today essentially can't fight. Can't fight. I don't know what.
Can't fight the feeling.
Can't fight that feeling. Well, it can't fight. It can't fight the feeling of being over $1. I've been sort of highlighting that price level for anything that's gapping up in the last little bit. And what I love about this, you already had a tight consolidation, 80 cents here, and then a little bit higher, like a higher low supported at about 90, and you're breaking out. And it's just as simple. Whenever I see this and then you have $1 previous high, I want to support that on the way back down. Because unless you get the short here at 125, 130, and you're already sitting in this in the money early pre-market on the pullback, and I wasn't really looking at this when I sat down, unfortunately. You could have maybe had that short. And a lot of times that's what I'd look for. But I've found lately in this market the last couple of months, just kind of defending the buy at that $1 level. And I have bids down 3s and 2s in case it tested 1. I'll play it back to where there was resistance. I was putting in the chat like I sold at 114. I'm not saying it's going from 114 to $1 here. All I'm saying is this is where there was a bunch of price consolidation at 115 to 118.
5 minutes away, guys.
So I want to get some out in front of it. It's pretty much as simple as that. And Endo is exactly the same thing. The difference between Endo is Endo Pharmaceuticals. This is a day 2 rally on Endo. And we love these day 2 rallies. It had a good jump off from 50. It's got itself a double top. So in that particular case, again, if you're not sitting in the short off the double top, the only thing I'm going to think about is where can you actually buy it. And it's quite simple. It supported 65 cents yesterday. End of story. Buy in front of 65. Again, the first consolidation was at 74, 75. That's where I want to be trimming in front of. So it's more about the pattern and what you're looking for. And a lot of times I'd be sitting in these pre-market shorts.
Okay, so mag-add na ako ng margin. Magta-transfer na ako ng funds, guys. So let's trade $500 dito kay gold. And kay S&P 500, I did close my position muna, but positive of $2 lang. So, yeah, let's wait for this to happen. Then, I probably long position on S&P 500 with $250. So, that's 500. 500 plus 250. So, that's $750 tonight. So, transfer lang tayo ng mga funds. And let's wait for that news, guys. There you go.
Yeah, you start with that with Tesla there. I mean,
4 minutes away.
We're already short some of these electric vehicles here, and it is happy birthday to Elon Musk there. So I don't really care too much about that. Obviously, we can check out his newest baby here, Twitter. $38, actually holding out pretty good on that one. So we'll see. There's been a lot of names that are obviously near 52-week lows and well below 50 periods. Twitter's been holding out okay because we have that buy out there. So we'll have to watch on that one. But all these stocks starting to print out for us again here. We're not getting out at all, but Upstart's starting to go back down to the bottom here. 31.50, we just touched 31.80. We're only short 32.12. So, they're not huge positions, but we did average into AMD, which has now come back in a little bit for us here. So a nice average at that 80 spot. To me, that's a no-brainer because of what AMD looks like at.
Guys, i-check nyo yung yung gold Baka mamaya maiwan kayo na ito. Pag nag-open to, let's wait for the bottom wick right around here and then let's long position.
That's 30.
Yeah, it's right here. I guess that is right. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Okay, so it's not missing it. I just forgot that
Oh,
we're below
there
80
you go.
right now. So that's why I was like, the chart's showing it right there. So we are below that 80 mark here on AMD. And now all three positions, man, starting to, you know, have a little bit of a
2 minutes
here.
away,
So
guys.
let's
Last
see,
2
we
minutes.
won't claim home run yet, but we'll put the frown into an evil face there because right now we are, we're short. Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero with a walk-off single yesterday, which was nice. Nice to beat Boston there. Boston's on absolute fire. But a nice move down here for NIO here today, and for AMD and for Upstart. So we've got all these three shorts, man, and right now they're all printing. And you can also see we did buy some more. I talked about that XLE level. The only thing I recently bought was Energy. You see Energy today up another 1.9%.
Last 2 minutes, guys.
Taking out 114 is trying to take
Hihinto
out
na
right
yan,
now. So
hihinto na yung
a
mga
nice move up here for crude, a nice move for XLE. We'll see what that means to Oxy, probably upside there. As money's going to flow back into some of these energy names that have been so beat down, Oxy, CVX, and XOM all been down like 20% or so from their June 8th highs. So let's go over to the board. Oh, I see one on the top. Oh, you know what's funny? Last night I was putting my kid to bed, obviously, like I do every single night, and I overheard my 10-year-old talking to my wife, and he said something about blah, 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 played the Uno reverse card. And I was like, you know where I hear that from? Prad, every single day. And I said to him, is that like a Discord thing? Or is it a social media thing? So I got to shout out to Prad that my 10-year-old using some lines that he uses as well.
Uno's still a thing, man. My dog.
We have 2 or 3 Uno sets because there's different ones. You've never even put them on the other side.
That's okay. Now you blow
so,
my mind. I'm gonna need some card games when we go camping because
go
apparently
get that one.
Apparently it's supposed
John,
to rain.
in preparation for without question the panel of the year, and I like what Augusta Carr said.
I'm pissed off about weather actually because the thing is all weekend, man. I don't know what
and that is there is no respite for the global economy.
Keep saying it. They've got some work to do. Mike McKee's with us as well. Mike, looking forward to this. Kit Juice alongside us. Walk me through what you're looking for from this panel that's set to begin in the next couple of minutes.
Well, the obvious question, John, flows from what Kit was saying. How far do they have to go and how fast? But I'm not sure anybody has a good answer. Speaking with Fed officials in recent weeks, they kind of focus on the idea that we don't know what's going to happen going forward. A lot of what's in inflation now comes from external.
Rant almost over, but the point was that it was supposed to be 80% rain on the weekend. Like, Sunday was supposed to rain all day. I was close to like canceling practice, but obviously didn't, thank God. And it didn't rain at all. And then now it hasn't rained the last couple of days. We were at like 40 degrees Celsius, man. I mean,
I'm trying to limit like dito kay S&P 500 like yung 38.32.25.
It's supposed to. Later on, I think 4 o'clock-ish. Here we go. Downgrades today. There they are. Affirm and Upstart, really the only two that will be significant today. Yeah, Upstart very negative, obviously. Affirm, UBS to the downside as well. Trip.com very strong over the past couple of days on this China positivity surrounding COVID. So back to the upside for Citigroup. McDonald's on here, and this is that XAIR is the ticker. XAIR getting an FDA ruling this morning, guys.
The reason why I went off about Pratt, I didn't go off about Pratt, but mentioned Pratt about that Uno reverse because they're firm.
So yesterday a firm was, and look, there was a lot of good shorts.
There you go, guys. Open na yung candle ni Gold, guys. Let's see if may rate natin yung bottom
week.
week.
It's more along the lines of if there's something that's in your wheelhouse or a stock that you like to trade or whatever it might be, and has your setup, then you should be on it.
Pero if it drives, it drives.
Unfortunately, today, yes, got the downgrade. It's back below $20. I mean, I look at this thing and I'm saying if we don't break 20 today, the market is weak. How is this thing going to be good? I was even mentioning that there's going to be a bunch more competition, actually in the business-to-business side of it, which is more lucrative. A couple of the UK firms are going to get involved there, but this has been rejecting that 50 period. So you're another one of these downturns, and each time it's actually rejected the 50. It's been significant pullbacks. Right, like it has not pulled back a tiny amount. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing to happen, and we should, unless barring something crazy with this market, I think we should be heading towards $15 at some point on a firm. Not saying that today, but below 20 is definitely the jam. I might have to wait till the open because that's been the time to catch a firm. Is getting it at the open. If it doesn't take out the pre-market high at 9:30, that's the fill that you usually get.
All right, we did get a super chat here, so shout out to Sean Waller. Good name there, buddy. How do you determine a pullback versus continuation? I mean, I don't know. Me and Neil and I were like talking about this, and it's just one of those things where I think you got to
$58 running profit on gold.
So like, how do we know if it's pulling back or continuing to go down?
Nope, I want that entry.
I mean,
Di pa mag-entry dyan. Wait ko siya bumalik hanggang dito. Then I'll entry position on gold, guys, right around here sa areas na to. Mamaya pa. Or kailangan ko maiwan niya dito. Yes, gold is moving, guys. Iniwan na tayo. Pero let's wait for the bottom wick right around here. If meron pa yan, let's see. Kung magkakaroon pa ng bottom wick si gold right around here, doon tayo magpo-position. If not, let it drive, guys. Let it drive. That's a clean traffic. Okay? Pero for sure, I'm 100%. Babalik muna yan bago siya sumabog ng ganun. Pero if it drives, drives. So kay Bitcoin naman, guys, still open tayo sa opportunity na possible natin malong to like right around dito sa 20,099 na to. So dyan ko siya possible malong and pabalik dito sa 1.25% natin right around 20,300 US dollar. I think I'm going to use 30x lang dito kay BTC, guys, and I'm using 500 USDT dito. Let's see.
And then bounce back up. You know, starting to make a couple different highs here, pulling back, bouncing back, you know, pulling, and then these are all sort of, you know, lower highs, or sorry, higher lows here, as you can see, as we keep going back up to the high side. But then in here, you're kind of stuck now on AMD. Like, if you were buying some of these pullbacks right now you're breaking lower. And then what I'm going to get at here, to answer your question a little bit better maybe, is that tomorrow's Micron. So, Thursday, Wednesday, yeah. So, you know, you're going to get earnings in the space here. So, if this is going to continue down, you'd really like to not...
leverage natin dyan, guys, for 100. Okay, 100x lagi ako kay gold, guys. Di ako naglo-low leverage kay gold. Sayang yung entry. Okay? So, dito naman kay S&P 500, I think I might long position right around 3832.25. I might long position there. Okay? Wait lang ako mag-flip. Itong flip yan, mag-market order na ulit ako diyan. Market lang ako, hindi na ako maglilimit sa kanya, pero wait ko lang bumutas siya dyan. So, yeah.
In that sense, has a little bit easier job because everybody can
say, yeah, you probably have a continuation move. But if it hangs around this price, like goes to 79, doesn't break, hangs out a little bit, you know, then you could maybe say, hey, maybe it's just a pullback and we do get that bounce back. But for me, it's very tough to buy these bottoms because I'd almost rather play, and that's why we have the 50 period here. I'd almost rather wait for AMD to break back up.
Oh my God, there you go. Bitcoin is booming.
And I think yes. You know, if you do have any capital left, you know, some of these prices are just so low now that if you like the name and you like the story there, then I don't think there's anything wrong with dollar cost averaging. And I mean, that's my strategy. Like I said, I'm down a lot over the last year or so from not selling some of those tops. But, you know, at the same time, I feel like there is some good opportunities here to buy. And if you do have a 5 or 10 year outlook, which obviously I do, even more than that, I'm talking about long-term accounts, then I feel like some of these prices are half decent. But, I mean, I just said the next shoe to drop is earnings, right? Like AMD right now is still, what, we looked at it yesterday, wasn't it still 25 or something?
It's not that.
On the PE. Oh, no, okay, no, that's actually 16. Okay, there was something we looked at yesterday that I was like amazed at what its PE was. Forget about PEs there. You can look at forward PE when companies try to actually make money. So I think that's 16. I wonder.
15 years of policy experimentation in an age really defined by stubbornly low inflation. Now this year that has changed. As Claire was saying, our policy panel needs a little introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Jerome Powell is the chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve. Andrew Bailey, governor of the Bank in England. Agustin Carstens governed the Bank of Mexico before becoming general manager of the Bank for International Settlements, and of course our host, the president of the ECB, Christine Lagarde. Now, just a reminder, between them, these institutions hold nearly $20 trillion worth of assets on their balance sheet, and they've, of course, maintained ultra-low, even negative interest rates for the better part of a decade with little disruption. They now have the unenviable position of presiding over the great unwinding of policy that may have permanently changed the architecture of global markets. So thank you all for joining us. We're going to have, I'm sure, a robust discussion over the next 90 minutes. Mr. Carstens, let me start with you as a central bank of central banks. You know, central banks in general have faced really a succession of crises over the past years, but also some of the structural factors, such as the green transition, digitalization, and increased onshoring. So how different will the future of inflation be from now on? How different will it be from the last decade?
Well, I mean...
Bantayan nyo ito yung magsasalita dapat, yung isang nakaupo doon.
In the last, I would say, 2 decades, or even more, if, for example, we compare this period of inflation with the 70s.
There you go, gold,
is that
guys.
we
Take a
have
look at gold.
much stronger institutional monetary frameworks and institutional framework for central banks.
Once again, guys, make sure you sign up today at thesmallexchange.com. What do we need to know today, Ron?
Well, I mean, we're coming to the end of the quarter, the end of the month.
We were at the time where, for example, in the Bretton Woods,
there you go, guys. Be ready, guys. Be ready.
You don't
Gold
have
is
more,
flipping.
I would say, instability in a system when you are, for example, revising
Konti na lang, guys. There you go.
regimes. And that is not happening
Told you.
today. I think that the period of disinflation there established very, very strong basis to create new and more nimble, more agile, better prepared central banks. And I think, for example, the design of the ECB, our host here today, in a way incorporated many of those learnings. So, I mean...
So, possible mag-long tayo around 1831 kay gold. Pero wait ko lang talaga, kailangan niya mabasag to and mag-create siya ng bottom wick. Hindi po pwedeng ngayon natin i-trigger yan. Okay? Hindi po pwedeng ngayon.
Priced, because there are many elements that affect inflation and that they are not directly under your control. And I think to a large extent, this is what we are seeing today. And I see a very, very strong ability of all central banks to analyze, to incorporate that information and to react. For me, if you look very careful what is going on right now, in the last 2 years, we have seen dramatic changes in the environment. We went from having a situation where depression was felt, was feared, deflation was coming, to a very quick rebound with the vaccination and so on and so forth, and we moved tremendously quickly from an environment of fearing deflation to fearing inflation, and that has been compounded by the Russian crisis. I have to say, monetary policy, as nimble as it can be, cannot respond with that celerity. So I think that the knowledge of the new form of inflation is being learned and is being responded. So I'm very positive that this institutional framework and strength of central banks today will take us to the goal where we want to be relatively soon.
Chair Powell, do you agree? I mean, when you look at complexity and uncertainty, has it always been this way but we forget about it? Or is this really a new frontier?
There you go.
Everything Augustine said about institutional progress, but I would say, I would add this. We've lived through a period of
check gold, guys, check gold.
forces
Oh my God, there you go.
This
Hindi na
is,
tayo makakapasok dito.
globalization, aging demographics, low productivity, technology enabling all of that. And that was, so we've been in that world where inflation was really not a problem in most of the advanced economies most of the time. Since the pandemic, we've been living in a world where the economy is being driven by very different forces, and we know that. What we don't know is whether we'll be going back to something that looks more like,
si Boss
a little
Jerome.
bit like what we had before. We suspect that it'll be kind of a blend, but in the meantime, we've had a series of supply shocks. We've had very high inflation now across the world, certainly through all the advanced economies, and we're, to Augustine's point, we're learning to deal with it. Our job is to find price stability and maximum employment, in the case of the Fed, in this new economy with these new forces.
Oh,
and
there
it is
you
a
go.
very different exercise than the one that we've had for the last 25 years. Nonetheless, the goals are the same.
I don't know whether, Madam Nagan, after this volatility, do we go back to something that resembles the last 10 years, or is it, something else completely?
I also agree with most of the points that Augustine made, and we don't have to agree between us because
S&P 500. Oh my God, there you go.
But
almost there,
I don't
guys.
think that we're going to go
Almost
back
there.
to that
S&P
environment
500
of
is
inflation.
almost there,
And I think
guys.
that there are forces that have been unleashed as a result of the pandemic, as a result of this massive geopolitical
Actually, wala ko
shock
naiintindihan sa
that we're facing
pinagsasabihan
now,
niya.
that are going to change
Pero sabi
the
na,
picture
pandemic
and the
pa lang to
landscape
eh. Ang
within
kailangan
the
ko is yung
If I look
inflation.
at our euro
Kailangan
area, for
yun.
instance,
Okay? Okay, may hit na yung limit natin kay
we have
BTC, guys.
record
Malapit na. Wait na
low
lang tayo. So,
unemployment.
Bitcoin. There you go.
We
Gold,
have
guys.
Inflation expectations,
Let's see.
however, unprecise and
There you go.
with the
Flipping.
pinch of salt that was discussed at
Basta
the
mag-limit
last
na lang kayo, guys.
panel,
Okay,
which
mag-limit
was
na lang kayo
excellent.
dito.
We have inflation expectations that are
Yun na, inflation
much,
expectation.
much higher than they were. That's for the internal matters. But if you look at the rest of the world, a lot of the movements that we've experienced in the last 20 years was predicated on globalization, on the breaking down of supply chains, on the reduction of cost, on the just on time. That has changed and will probably change continuously towards a system that we are not certain about at this point in time, which is much debated.
Kailangan ko
Some would argue
makita ang
that
basagin ni
globalization will
Gold
continue
to.
in a different format. Some
In order
would
na
argue
malimit tayo
that,
dito, ha?
The place where you manufacture,
There
the
you go.
place from which you provide services is going to be determined by different factors than
Okay?
just cost.
So, yun yung
It will be
kailangan
about
natin, ha?
cost as
Kailangan
usual,
niyang basagin
but it's
to
also
in
going
order
to
na
be about
maglilimit tayo dito.
where do I locate my services? Where do I employ people? Where do I reduce my costs? And are those areas, geographical as well as political, actually foes or friends?
Pwede na mag-limit.
And do I have some
Sige.
predictability
Pwede na
about
tayo
the
mag-limit.
future of my production?
Tinamaan niya na, okay na
my
yan.
services?
So,
And the
don't
third
set your
factor that
limits,
is going to
guys.
change the scene from my vantage point is the way in which we produce. And I think that the shift that we're observing in Europe, certainly, towards green transition is also going to change dramatically the way in which we operate. And all those
S&P
forces are going to
500
produce,
almost there. Bitcoin is almost there.
deflationary
Bang.
impacts
Let's
that
see, guys.
are still to be
Almost
measured.
there.
But in the short run, I have some ideas as to where it's heading.
And we'll get back to those ideas shortly. Governor Bailey, do you see this as a sea change for the longer-term future?
Yeah, yes, I do. I think first of all we have to say that unquestionably, of course, our task is to return to low inflation. But I think we see this, every day, that in fulfilling that task, we're observing certainly, what can turn out to be structural change, and some of it I think, I would say is already getting there. So I think COVID is leaving a structural legacy on labour markets in the way they behave, which we're already beginning to see. I think sadly the European security situation has changed. We hope it obviously doesn't persist, but it has changed, and that's affecting, as Christine was saying, that's affecting supply chains. It's affecting the resilience of the whole supply system.
Okay, nakakabahan siya.
You mentioned climate change, Francine. I always say that this is not, because some people sometimes say this is not some sort of dilettante activity by central banks. The reason that we're not in the lead on it clearly, but the reason we have to take it seriously is because it is affecting our world, and actually it will get worse. That's the sad fact of life, and we have to, in a sense, understand that.
Perfect scenario for gold, guys.
What effects it will have and how we respond to it. So
perfect scenario.
Are very important in our landscape.
I believe we see this.
Chair Powell, as these complexities or as these sands are shifting, is slower growth, much slower growth, an inevitable trade-off on trying to deal with inflation?
So I would say that if what we see, for example, is the redivision of the world into competing geopolitical and economic camps and a reversal of globalization, that certainly sounds like lower productivity and lower growth. And in many parts of this side of that, you see aging demographics, so a shrinking workforce, and you see economies that are growing more slowly and whose workforces are not expanding. So that's certainly a possible outcome, and I think probably to some extent a likely outcome.
And in the shorter term, can the economy, can the U.S. economy actually deal with a possible onslaught of interest
perfect
rate
scenario for gold.
So the U.S. economy is actually in pretty strong shape. So if you look back a year, the U.S. economy grew more than 5.5%. It was really the big reopening year. And so we had expected this year to be that growth would moderate to a more sustainable path. We also, of course, are raising interest rates, and the aim of
there
that
you go, guys.
is to slow
Change your
growth
limit,
down,
guys. There you go.
So that supply will have a chance to catch up. We hope that growth can still remain positive.
I'll go low.
But if you look at the strength of the economy, households are in very strong financial shape. They've still got a lot of excess savings from forced saving from not being able to travel and things like that, and also from fiscal transfers. So households are overall, not every household, and not the ones at the lower end of the income spectrum, but overall in strong state. The same thing is true of businesses.
Oh my God, there you go. Bitcoin is flipping, guys.
Default and things like that. Lots of cash on the balance
Woo!
sheet. The labor market is tremendously strong. Still averaging very, very high job growth per month. So overall, the U.S. economy is well positioned to withstand tighter monetary policy, we think.
But is it automatically a trade-off between fighting inflation or taking care of the economy, and how far are you willing to go with interest rate hikes?
So I guess I'd say it this way: our aim is to have growth moderate. It's sort of a necessary adjustment that needs to happen, so that again supply can catch up. It could be supply of workers. It could be time for the supply chains to to improve. So the sense of that is that if we can get right now, supply and demand are really out of balance in many parts of the U.S. economy. The labor market being a big example of that. We need to get them better in balance so that inflation can come down. And that's the aim of what we're doing. Now, we don't have precision tools. Obviously, monetary policy, famously a blunt tool. That is our aim. That is our intention. We think that there are pathways for us to achieve that, to achieve the path back to 2% inflation while still sustaining a strong labor market. We believe we can do that. That is our aim. There's no guarantee that we can do that. It's obviously something that's going to be quite challenging, and I would also say that the events of the last few months have made it significantly more challenging. Thinking there particularly of the war in Ukraine, which has added tremendously to inflationary pressures around food and energy commodities and agricultural chemicals and industrial chemicals and things like that. So it's gotten harder. The pathways have gotten narrower. Nonetheless, that is our aim, and we believe that there are pathways to achieve that.
President Lagarde, can you talk to us about this fine balancing act for Europe and what that means?
You know what I find extraordinary is that sort of 10-15 minutes into this debate we haven't really used the word energy. And certainly in this part of the world, the energy shock that we have suffered, are suffering, and probably will continue to suffer, has had a major impact.
I think I will not trade this one na.
Not specific to Europe,
so possible,
but there is certainly a dependency of European countries, and the euro area is certainly a point in case, to external supply from foes.
So, mini 500, let's see na lang,
and that has had a major impact on prices. It is certainly a very driving force, a strong driving force of the inflation that we have experienced in the last few months. This has been, as you said, Jay, exacerbated by the war. And I think the proximity of Europe relative to the war scene has had probably a more significant impact on the price both of energy and of food, which are clearly very important components to take into account, including in inflation expectations, as was discussed earlier. But we also have, that then is a series of supply shocks that are hitting the European economy. But we also have this recovery that is very much underway, that is certainly driven by services.
There you go, guys. Gold is flipping.
From goods to services, and which is also supporting the economy. We have very low unemployment numbers, high employment participation. Some of it is more attributable to public service jobs than private sector, although that is also back to pre-pandemic moments. And we have a couple of other items, such as significant savings that are still to be used, hopefully, or not. And we have fiscal policy. And the fiscal policy that we are seeing at the moment is roughly in the range of 1% GDP. But we need to see how fiscal authorities move, where they move, and we certainly hope that they will move in a targeted, temporary way in order to make sure that they support the most vulnerable and not in a broad and discriminated fashion as we
basta
have.
si gold lang muna ako, pass muna ako dito kay mini 500. Bitcoin tsaka Bitcoin gold lang muna ako.
Gradual for monetary policy? Well, don't forget, I didn't say gradual full stop. I said gradual but optional, and I think it's a combination of the two that actually matters for us. Moving gradually is certainly appropriate in times of very high uncertainty, but as the uncertainty will clear on various accounts, we will have to certainly be less gradual and give more weight to optionality. But we have both of them in combination at the moment, optionalities being also a very critical aspect of our determination.
Mr. Carson, you've been pretty vocal, actually, on what central banks should do. Do you think they need to cut faster?
Well, I think everyone should react according to their own circumstances. What is very satisfactory at this stage is that pretty much all central banks have starting address
That's
the
Bitcoin,
issues.
guys. Tingnan yung
I mean,
Bitcoin nyo.
one way of dealing with this,
Bitcoin
is
and
through words.
E-mini,
Recognizing you have a
S&P,
problem, to saying that
and
you will
almost there
address
sa
it,
gold. Gold
and
lang
pretty
lang.
much all have
Okay, gold.
already
Kung
entered
nakapag-trade
into
kayo
the
dito
field
sa
of
Bitcoin
action.
and
So,
E-mini
central
500, and
banks
there you
have
go.
been acting
That's a
in
limit position
consequence.
here.
I
So,
have to
yeah,
say the level
that's
of
it.
interest rates worldwide have adjusted.
Okay na yan.
The level of interest rates, if you
If it
look
drives,
them
it
from
drives.
the yield
Waiting
curves,
na lang ako
they
ng isang
have been
salita pa ni
increasing
Powell, ni
quite
Jerome, then
substantially.
that's it.
What we can say is that global
Patiis nyo.
financial
Congrats.
conditions have tightened substantially, because we don't have to. We shouldn't forget that this, in a way, has become a global phenomenon. I mean, inflation around the world has been
Positive na ako,
increasing.
nakakaiyak.
Now, each country, as Christine and Andrew and Jay have
There you
been
go.
saying, each one face different dynamics of inflation. I mean, in a way, I think what is very, very important is that in the realm of
Baka binabaliwala nyo itong gold, guys. Hindi nyo alam, napakagandang setup niyan. Napakaganda daw ng setup ni gold, guys.
Try to do is
That's our setup. Kung binabaliwala nyo yan, then possible.
a full transition from a low inflation environment to a high inflation environment where this high inflation gets entrenched. And for that, basically, you need to prevent these vicious cycles to kick in. And pretty much all of them are addressing it. In these vicious cycles, labor markets are very important, and labor markets are very different across the world. Therefore, I think that there is no one recipe or no one remedy for all. But what I'm seeing is that pretty much all central banks have been addressing
Paano ba
the
naman
issue
negative
in
$70?
a forceful,
Sino ba naman
determined
maiiyak
way
kapag
according
nag-green
to
up?
their own
Sino
circumstances.
hindi maiiyak pag
Is your
nag-green
question, does it mean
beauty?
that you would be in favor of,
Nasanay na akong red yung
so
presyo,
that
same.
it's a powerful
Nasanay na
message
rin ako
maybe to
pula-pula
people,
lagi.
for a lot of the citizens
Well, let me give you a good example and to introduce
Maglulong
a
ako
little bit
dito
of
once
a
na mag-ano
different
tayo
flavor
dito,
here.
ma-break natin to.
I come from emerging
Kailangan ko makita
markets.
ma-break to.
And if you see
So
how
that's why gold lang
emerging
muna
markets
binabantayan
have
ko.
been acting this time around compared to other periods of very high interest rate increases in advanced
That's why
economies,
gold, guys.
or
That's
the
why gold.
expectations of fast increases in interest rates, they have acted quite well, you know. I mean, if you see the more recent episode was the temper tantrum, where many emerging
Coach, may long
markets
position
suffer
pala, di ako marunong
dramatically
mag-long.
with the
Okay, puro short
expectation
lang alam
of higher
natin eh.
interest rates. My own country, Mexico, several of our crises have been associated with rapid increases in
Ano,
U.S.
almost
interest
there,
rates. But we have learned our lesson. And so what you see is emerging markets traditionally were the ones who would increase interest rates at the very end. Now they started very early on.
Oops,
and
there
what
you go.
can see is that they have managed to keep their exchange
see,
rates
guys.
quite stable. Traditionally, in emerging markets, exchange
I'm
rates
in.
was a very important source of inflation.
There you go.
So now
Gold
they're
is
still
flipping,
facing
guys.
the sources of
Set your stop
inflation
loss around
from the
1828,
commodity
guys. Set your
shocks,
stop loss, and then we can break
from-
even maya-maya
from
once na mabutas
energy,
na itong low
from
high na to.
world
Okay?
aggregate demand,
So there you go.
but not the ones
See?
that could have been inflicted by the movement in
Ayan
the
na.
exchange rate. So there you see that different central banks can act at different.
Okay. So let's see, guys. So almost there. Okay, almost there. Set your stop loss around 1828 and our break even around dito ha. Pag nabutas natin to, pwede na kayo mag-TP dyan. Pwede ako mag-break even dito. Okay, iaangat natin to. Pero feeling ko kailangan natin tumaas dito kasi generate na natin yung bottom wick. So there you go. Let's go. Simple as that. Simple as that. Trade lang natin to, okay na ako dito. Profit na daw siya sa gold. Thanks. Last round. That will give us 41.
That's 7 days. Then we will act more forcefully. And we will have to act more forcefully. Precise question, what does that mean? Well, of course, I'm not going to say what it means at our next meeting, because, you know, our next meeting is still a month away.
So maganda kung may ginigisa siya eh.
Is that, of course, it leaves options on the table, and that's very deliberate. Very deliberate. I mean, I want people to take a message away from that. It's quite clear that as we respond to this shock, we want to have those options on the table for precisely the reason that Agustin has just said. You know, there will be circumstances in which we will have to do more. We're not there yet in terms of the next meeting. We're still a month away, but yeah, that's on the table. But you shouldn't assume it's the only thing on the table. That's the key point.
But Governor, for you personally, would you be leaning towards 50 basis points?
No, because I'm going to see what happens in the next month. No. You know, I'm afraid one thing that is omnipresent in our system is that we make policy meeting by meeting. And there's always another meeting. If you can only guarantee one thing in monetary policy, it is that there's another meeting.
Yeah. Is it actually annoying that markets or reporters always try and understand, you know, some of this very personal thinking on interpretation, for example? Chair J. Powell, I mean, I tried my luck with Governor Bailey, but how do we, you know, how should we be thinking about this? Like, is it, you know, markets or reporters trying to really always get just that nugget piece of news?
Yeah, well, certainly there's a lot of that going on, I would say. But no, I guess I would, to put a more constructive spin on it, the markets and market participants are always wondering what we're going to do. They're always wondering what we're thinking, and when market moves happen, that's really a constructive thing. It's never going to be exactly what we're thinking, but nonetheless, it's constructive that the market in effect is doing your work for you if it correctly understands your reaction function. So that's maybe a more constructive way.
And is it correctly understanding what you're saying right now?
So I would say, by and large, I think over since last fall when we pivoted to raise rates and get where we are now, since then markets have been pretty well aligned.
Okay, so yeah. So sinabi ni Powell na gagamit ata sila ng soft landing. Naalala niyo yung sinabi ko dati na yung soft landing ni inflation, isa yun na lang yung tanging reason kung paano mape-prevent yung pagiging mataas, sobrang taas ng inflation rate. So yung soft landing, isang beses pala nagagawa yan. So possible, it's a positive result para sa atin yan.
For next year, between 3.5%
kung ano yung gagawin. Pero guys, sinabi niya nga, challenging. Kasi nga, isang beses lang gumana yon. So kung itatry natin ngayon, then there's a possibility chance na 50% mag-work.
Always going to be conditional on
so yun yung sinasabi. So there you go, that's a positive news. So it will go up, guys. It will go up.
And sometimes markets can forget about the conditionality part.
But is there a problem actually with forward guidance in this kind of environment because it gets priced in straight away? So it feels sometimes like, you know, markets lead and central banks follow because of the forward guidance.
It doesn't really feel that way at all from where I'm sitting. It feels quite the opposite. And no, as I said, I think people will look back on this period and say that we were able to have financial conditions tighten quite substantially. And we've only had 3 meetings at which we raised rates. Nonetheless, the forward rate curve is pricing in, you know, a rate path that looks a whole lot like the summary of economic projections that my colleagues and I submitted in June. So that's a good thing. That's the market understanding and finding credible what we're writing down. Now, of course, it's all highly conditional, but nonetheless, I'd say that's a positive thing.
Yeah. Do you agree, Madame Magan? Is it a positive?
Yeah, I would agree. You know, from our vantage point, we are on a normalization path. We have signaled that very clearly. We've started that back in December, and you know.
Oh my God! There you go.
The key assessment is the assessment of the medium-term outlook. The variables that we look at, the data that we look at, I think everyone is aware of that. And most people operate on the basis of the same data, the same information. And I think that our reaction function is what matters. And as long as that is understood, the fact that we are in this normalization path,
I'm done.
That we are gradual but optional,
SL heat,
that
guys.
we're going to be data dependent.
SL heat.
We've
That's my
indicated
hit.
very clearly what's likely to happen in July. Yes.
That's the biggest loss.
What's likely to happen in September? Yes. And you know, in the path that we're on, I think that markets have full understanding and appreciation of what we are doing, how we're doing it, and then the level of uncertainty as it clears will probably help us towards this optionality that I was describing earlier on.
So, yeah, I'm done, guys. I'm done trading this gold, guys. So,
the market function so far.
Oh my God, that's the biggest loss on live.
What the central bank's trying to do.
No way.
Yes, I think they have.
So, yeah, that's my biggest loss, guys. This is the biggest loss tonight here sa live ever since. So, ouch. So, that's around $234, guys. $234 loss. $234 loss for me here dito kay gold. That's not good. Okay, so that's okay. Why in the chat, guys? Even though we're lost, oh my God, there's no way, dude. So yeah, let's not trade that news anymore. The $234 loss here in live. That's the biggest loss for me here sa live. Wow. That's the biggest loss for me, guys. That's the biggest loss. Here's a live. No way. So, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's money. Okay. So, no way. So, let's update our sheet, guys. Let's update our sheet. So, it's 29. So, we ended up losing like 2 trades tonight. Yeah, we have no break-evens. We lost 2 losses tonight. So, yeah. Actually, 1 loss lang naman ako, pero yung 1 nyo kanina, so let's count that in so our losses. So, I'll take note here kung paano tayo natalo dyan, so we can, insert some comments para ano siya. This is a Fed news. Don't trade the news. So that's my take, guys. I will not trade the news anymore. I will not trade that. Hindi na ako magta-trade ng news kahit kailan. Oh my God, I don't want to trade anymore news. Mas okay pa nagta-trade tayo ng normal lang kaysa sa news. Napakahirap anticipate ng news, grabe. Although it's bullish and bearish, still, ang dami kasi nakatingin sa monitor. Should listen. S&P 500, Bitcoin is not going good, so it's fine. That's fine. Okay lang. So yeah, that's our loss tonight. Just sa trades natin na to. So I'll take that. I'll take that as a challenge for me. So that's pretty good. No way. Okay, so let's list that. Okay, lista lang natin yan dito sa loss natin. So, our wins is 43. And then we have 5 losses, guys. We have 5 losses here on live, during live stream. So, 5 losses. Oh my God, there we go. So, we're lost. Oh my God, 234. Ngayon na lang ulit ako natalo ng $234 na. Kadalasan ng talo ko is like 17, 18, 24, 42. Pero like $234 during live, that's the biggest loss for me. That's the biggest loss for me. And I don't want to revenge trade, guys. I don't want to revenge trade. So I won't trade that. I won't trade that. Let's see. E-mini, S&P, BTC. So, yeah. Paulo Buena, thank you for being a member of PIB Private Space. Okay, so you're welcome here sa live. And possible welcome ka na rin sa Discord namin. So, yeah, okay. So, here's a lesson, guys, Lahat tayo may natutunan dito. So, yeah, this is my 3rd time trading the news. And yung first news is FOMC, which is it perfectly play kasi alam ko naman yung pinag-uusapan nila doon. Okay? And napaka-bullish nun para sa akin. So, we long short, we long short, we long short. Pero ito, oh my god, I will not trade that anymore. Hindi na ako magta-trade ng ganyan palagi. Ngayon, paalala nyo sa akin palagi, I will not trade anymore news. Hindi na ako magta-trade ng news. Only FOMC, yun na lang. Masasaya na naman nito mga sir, yung mga palaka na nag-aantay ng pagkakamali mo. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, masaya na naman sila. Anyways, yeah, it's a lesson for me, no? So, tingnan nyo yung sa akin. I don't know how much you lose tonight during this trade. So, yeah, mas better nang natalo ako dito compare naman dito. I believe I will maliliquidate na ako dyan kung sakali. Mas malaki yun. So, yeah, I will not revenge trade. Di na ako magta-trade tonight. So, that's my closing for trading. So, yeah, I ended up having a balance of 8,000 US dollar na lang. So, 8,500 na to. So, oh no, my god. At least hindi replay. Yeah, at least hindi replay. So, yeah. So, I'll give a challenge, okay? I'll give my challenge. So, mag-challenge na lang ako sa sarili ko ulit. So, I need to get that back, okay? I need to get that back. So, kung nagawa natin siya dati, then kaya pa rin natin siya gawin ulit. So, that's the basic of trading. That's the principle of trading. So, kung natalo man kayo, okay? Kung natalo man kayo trade sa live natin here, okay? I'm so sorry about that. Okay, I'm so sorry. Pero tandaan nyo, kung nagawa natin dati yung panalo, magagawa ulit natin yon, okay? And we're just limiting our losses and yeah, ililimit lang natin yan, isisit tight lang natin lahat yan. Lahat may improvement. There's a lot of improvement. I believe I lost a lot of money before tayo naging profitable ng ganito. Ano? Panalo ko ng $200 sa gold. Okay. Buti naman may mga pumitik sa gold. Okay? So for me, yeah, it's a win for me. It's a win na natalo pa rin ako kahit paano. So, feels good. Okay? It feels good na maramdaman ko rin yung ganitong klaseng kalaking talo for quite some time, guys. Hindi na ako natatalo ng ganitong kalaki. Pero, you know, yeah. So, yeah, I'll try to win this back. Promise. And, yeah. Remember your losses, guys. Remember your losses. Lista nyo yan kung magkano yung talo nyo tonight. And, yeah, papalitan natin na mas malaki yan. Okay? Papalitan natin na mas malaki yan. So, anyways, guys. So, that's it for me. I will not trade anymore. I don't want to short Bitcoin. Then, hindi ko din siya i-short. Yeah. Basically, a perfect scenario for my stop loss. Okay na ako dyan sa stop loss na kaysa naman dito. And, boom. There you go. That's a liquidation for me. Kung sakali. Yeah. Pero, yeah. Although may mali ako dito, okay, let's study, okay? Aralin muna natin kung ba't tayo nagkamali or paano tayo nagkamali here sa live. Okay. We didn't position, yeah. We didn't position. So, dapat tama yung position natin kanina dapat dito, tama? Yung 1832. Okay, tama sana yun eh. Pero ibinaba natin. Diba? Binaba natin yung position natin. Why? Kasi nakita ko ang haba na ng week. Okay? Ang haba na ng week. Pero, konti na lang yung magiging winning natin if sakaling dito kuminom. Parang yun yung naging thinking ko kanina. So, that's why I move it downside, expecting a bit more dito sa taas. Pero, sadly, napaka-tight ng stop loss natin and kung sa inyo kasi maliit lang yan, okay? Possible maliit lang talo nyo dyan. Siguro mga $20, $30, mga something like that. Pero ang sa akin kasi, I position right around here with $500 and boom, at 200. Magkano nga ulit yun? I forgot.
Ano nangyari?
Wait lang. At $234 loss for me. So, yeah, mali ako.
Ka pre, ha?
Mali ako doon. Mali ako sa move namin na ginawa tonight. So, naipit kami dito. And still, thank God, no, dyan tayo na stops. Kaysa naman dito, liquidate tayo dyan. Talagang sunog tayo dyan. So, Bitcoin is falling down, guys. Bitcoin is falling down. I don't know what's happening on Bitcoin's price right now.
Ni Bitcoin?
I don't know, too. Di ko na rin alam ginagawa niya. And I don't want to revenge trade anymore, guys. Hindi na ako magre-revenge trade. Ayoko na rin mag-position dyan sa mga yan. So,
Negative din ako.
So, yeah. Celebrate tayo ng losses. Celebrate tayo ng winnings. So, yeah. Oh my God. Ano, Tagaytay na? Ano, pagtalo lang? Pag panalo lang may Tagaytay? Walang pagtalo? Anyways. So, yeah. Okay. So, before ko makalimutan, that's a loss today. Bago ko makalimutan, hindi natin kakalimutan na screenshot to and save it to our journal, guys. Kailangan natin ng journal.
Lumuluha. Gumagalaw siya.
So, save lang natin to. Ito yung gold, So, this is gold. Sorry. So, this is gold. This is gold. Losing trade. 234 US dollar. Para malaman ko, para matandaan ko. Natalo ko ng 224 dyan. Ay, nako! Okay. So, save natin siya dito sa trading journal natin. Actually, makakuha kayo na ito, By the end of the month, bibigyan ko kayo lahat ng copy ng journal natin. So, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, my God. So, I'm so sorry again, guys. I'm so sorry if natalo kayo tonight dito sa trade natin. Ang laki. Malaking talo yun for me. Napakalaking talo nun for me. So, yeah. Pero, tama lang din. Okay lang din siya. Natalo ako dito kasi naman maliquidate ako dyan. So, yeah. Oh my God, there you go. A dump on all position. Bitcoin, down. Everything, down. So, yeah. Definitely, that's
Kaya pa to. Negative ako $20. Why is it crying?
Nag-iisip ako kasi last time na natalo ako ng ganyang kalaki nung sa matagal-tagal na rin and then ang ginawa ko noon parang 2 days ko lang ata binawi yun. Actually $750 yun, guys. Liquidate yun, hindi yung stop loss. Liquidate yun, $750. And then nabawi ko na siya ng 2 days. So now nag-iisip ako, like I traded that, I remember, during Friday. Yeah, I believe Friday ko siya tinrade. So, tandaan natin, meron tayong 234 balance na babawiin. So, that's mine. And, dodoblehin ko yan. It's a challenging for me, okay? Challenge siya. Challenge accepted. So, that's a $234 loss. So, $234 times natin sa dalawa. So, our target next trading is 468. Gusto kong dodoblehin yan. Dodoblehin natin ang dodoblehin yan. So, let's trade on London session and New York session tomorrow. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow sa live natin. I don't know kung magla-live ako tomorrow sa YouTube ng London. Pero if may makita ko magandang session, kung mag-setup sa London tomorrow, magla-live tayo sa YouTube tomorrow, okay? Ang London night natin is 2 PM bukas. So, yeah. Birthday ko sa Friday, Kuya Kim. Sana panalo tayo. Yeah. I wish you the best. Happy birthday sa'yo. Advance happy birthday sa'yo. And sana manalo tayo sa Friday.
We the best.
Babawiin natin yan, guys. Madaling-madali lang yan. Okay? Madaling-madali lang yan. And guess what, guys, no? Bago kayo malis, okay? Bago kayo malis, punta lang kayo dito. Asan yun? Okay. Sa lahat ng mga OnlyFans member natin dito sa sa YouTube, guys, punta lang kayo dito sa OnlyFans natin. Okay, punta lang kayo sa OnlyFans and then bantayan nyo to, ha. Bantayan nyo to. Magsasend ako dito ng mga signals natin sa mga OnlyFans YouTube members natin. So, yan. Dito kayo makakakuha ng signal sa akin. So, yeah. Okay? Okay ba yun? Let me know, guys, kung okay sa inyo yun. So, I'll see you guys here dito sa OnlyFans natin sa Discord channel natin. And, yeah. Easy. Babawiin natin yan, guys. Napakasimple lang yan. Okay, napakasimple lang yan. Kung natatalo tayo ng ganyang kalaki, di possible manalo din tayo ng ganyang kalaki. Simple as that. That's a mindset. That's a good mindset na dapat meron kayo. Okay? Ganun lang kasimple, guys. Ganun lang kasimple. So, yeah. Okay. So, I will not hold you long enough, guys. So, pahinga na tayo. I will not check charts na. So, yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Peace out.